A lot of my work is with Dr. Bill Doherty. He and I are involved in a project called the Minnesota Couples on the Brink project, and really my scholarship has been focusing around developing a protocol that we call discernment counseling for couples on the brink of divorce. And it's really a kind of a one last look at their relationship and what they might need to do to restore health to the relationship before kind of filing for divorce or maybe trying to choose to reconcile. Yeah, actually I'm driven to discover if all divorces are necessary. Right now we're kind of hovering at about 50% of all new marriages will end in divorce. It's a pretty grim statistic, especially when you compare that to the other statistic that's out there that seems pretty consistent, that people are looking for a happy, healthy marriage and relationship. And people consider that kind of one of the pinnacles of achievement in their lifetime. Even if you ask high school students who tend not to be thinking much beyond what am I going to have for lunch, they're even saying, to the tune of about 75% of high school students, this is something I want. I want a happy, healthy marriage. We have had in this country, historically marginalized populations who have wanted marriage, not just civil unions. They've wanted marriage. So marriage has been an important sociological concept and configuration, and people want it, and people want to they want to have that as part of a marker of success in their life. So when people get to this point where they think the only option for them is to end that relationship that they've invested so much in, our work with the Minnesota Couples on the Brink and our development of the discernment counseling protocol is really saying there might be a way to prevent this thing from happening that you didn't intend to have happen to begin with. So people start their marriages, they're very optimistic and they're in love, and sometimes they're making good choices, sometimes they're making not so good choices in the partner that they're meeting with. But there's probably a lot of divorces that are out there where people could probably salvage a marriage, and not just salvage it, but the marriage could thrive. And we're finding that with a couple of the projects that I'm working with. One is the Minnesota Couples on the Brink. The other project I'm working with is called the National Divorce Decision Making Project. And that's with scholars at a variety of other universities. And really, we don't know, as a group of social scientists, we don't know what goes on in that decision-making process of divorce. And what we're finding out is that there's a lot of variability in how people approach that decision making. It's not like they get the idea and then they go file for divorce. There's a lot of swing, and I talk about a pendulum that goes back and forth. This seems to be the kind of process. There's a lack of clarity, there's a lack of confidence. People worry about their kids, they worry about their finances, they worry about how much happiness should I have in my life, and do I have enough happiness to stay in the marriage, or have I gone past that and I'm not feeling that? Or is there enough love? Do I still love my partner? And a lot of these things, we're finding out that it's a very dynamic spot. There's a lot of variability, a lot of swing in how people think about this. And so we're worried about, we're actually hosting a symposium here soon entitled a research symposium on the prevention of unnecessary divorce. And so we believe that there is a segment of all the divorces out there that could be prevented. And if you think about like the cost of divorce, one of the projects I was involved in before I came here, I was living down in Texas. We did an evaluation of what divorce might cost the state of Texas. About $1.2 billion cost, that's a big number. And so the people in the Health and Human Services Department are like, that's amazing, that's an amazingly huge number of our budget that goes to funding kind of the fallout of the divorce process. Imagine kids and households, moving one household to two households and people not being able to keep up with that. So we're finding out a lot about what people are thinking and what might help people in that. And so our work has implications for the families that are going through divorce, also has implications for those who are service providers, lawyers, clergy, therapists, family therapists who are seeing clients who are in the middle of this decision-making process.